Hey guys, we have some exciting things to bring to you today. It's all about plans.
And planning and everything about how does your plan work out and how you have to be adjustable. And flexibility is the big deal.
It's key. When you're living full-time in an RV, you have to be flexible because plans change, sometimes within your control and sometimes completely without anything to do with your control. And of course, you all know what we're talking about. We'll get there in a second, but we want to give you a couple of examples of how and why you might need to be flexible. One time, Kent booked us a hotel. Tell us about the hotel.
We're on a motorcycle trip, booked the hotel, and we didn't get an email response, and they didn't take a deposit, and we're like, that's a little fishy.
Totally
Something's wrong here. I checked. I got back to them. I'd booked the hotel, but it was the one in Costa Rica.
We were going to Yellowstone, not Costa Rica.
No. Okay.
Anyway, so sometimes you might show up to a campground and assume that you have your campsite reservation, and you might not actually have a reservation there. You have to be flexible. Are we gonna, all these things come into play. Now we don't have a reservation. We thought we did. You need to be flexible. Another example.
Or it's full.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that can
works.
happen sometimes as well. For sure. Another example of having to be flexible is if you have a mechanical breakdown.
Yep. Tire, you lose a tire, whatever happens.
I mean, that happened to us last season.
It did.
We were driving along the highway, along the freeway. Our front tire blew out. We'll have the video about that up here. It's actually kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, all of our plans changed because we had been delayed by a day or two to get that tire fixed.
Even just pulling out a Quartzsite and all of a sudden the alarm's going off and it's like, what's that? Well, we lost all the air in one of our tires.
Yep.
So we turned around, fixed it, and got back into Quartzsite.
That was a short plan change. It was only
slowed
for a
us
couple
down.
hours, but yeah. So RV life definitely requires being flexible and kind of embracing change. And saying, we might have to change our plans on the fly. If you are not that kind of person, if you are like, I have to have things exactly the way I expected them to be, RV life will be extra challenging for you. Not to say you can't do it, but you need to kind of get into that place of being able to change.
You'll just see what fits you. When things don't work, that person there is not the bad guy. Okay?
That's right. And neither is that person.
Yeah.
The problem is out here.
Yeah.
And as a team, we're going to
take care of the problem.
So that is a huge marriage tip for anybody who's
Big time.
in a relationship. The problem isn't between you, it's in front of you, you attack it together. Another reason why you might need to be flexible is because of external circumstances. And right now, 2020, there's a lot of external circumstances that affects how people are living in their RVs. And for us personally,
yes,
it is seriously going to affect our fall and winter plans. And that is what we're going to talk about today.
That's right. So guys, normally what we would be doing is we would get ready for fall, and October sometime, maybe November 1st, we'd be crossing that border, that US-Canadian border, and be a snowbird heading down to the southern weather. That would be the normal. The US-Canadian border for travelers has never been closed ever.
Yeah.
Except it has this year since March 1st.
Totally unexpected. External circumstance beyond our control. But we have to abide by that.
So the normal would be our regular plan.
Yeah.
That's not on the table anymore.
So now we have to come up with a plan A,
Yep.
a plan B, and a plan C because we actually don't know when that border is going to open.
Yeah.
It's so hard to do this. And I don't know if you guys understand this, but being Canadians, I'm sure you have an idea of this, but if you are fellow Canadian RVers, where are my peeps at? Like, let's just put that in the comments and let us know if you're a Canadian RVer because it is changing life for all of us.
That's right.
Canada gets really, really cold in the winter. Most of Canada is... How cold is it, Kent?
Well, I know that for some of you, it comes as a shock that water is in 3 different states of form. There's liquid, there's vapor, and then there's the Canadian liquid, which turns completely solid, okay? And we're talking every bit of liquid in our RV can go solid, including, well, even diesel fuel will get really chuggy thick, okay? So you can't have, it's a mess.
Yeah. So if you just extrapolate that into RV life and think of every single liquid and fluid in your rig is frozen solid, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So being Canadians, wanting to travel in the winter, I mean, we are nomads. We need to travel. We have been stationary now since May. And even before that, we were stationary for a couple months because of COVID.
We were.
So we just have itchy feet, itchy wheels. Bessie's got itchy wheels. We got to get going. So we're going to share with you guys our plans of hopefully traveling this fall and winter.
What's our A plan?
Plan A is
first of all, heading to the southern west. Okay, southern. Which direction is it going to go?
The camera.
Yes.
The southwest corner of Canada is pretty much the warmest place and in our country.
Right here.
So that's the where we're heading.
Southwest corner, the tip, the little tiny piece where all RVs won't be as susceptible to the frozen tundra of the regular part of Canada.
And I'm sure we won't be the only RVer over there.
Oh, there'll be a few.
I think a lot of us are heading that direction. So the southwest corner of Canada is where we will be going in the fall.
Yes.
We will be spending November and December there.
Yep.
Which is great because our family are all in that corner
That's
as well.
why we're spending some time there.
Not our kids, but our parents and our in-laws and all the nieces and nephews. So we will be getting to do Christmas with family this year, which is it's kind of a silver lining on the cloud because we haven't had Christmas with family for a couple of years. So definitely looking forward to that.
And continuing in Plan A, January 1-ish, crossing the border, heading down the coast, all the way to Quartzsite, Arizona.
Yeah. So that's still Plan A.
That's Plan A.
January, crossing the border, Quartzsite, and then after Quartzsite, traveling and exploring the U.S. Hopefully with some of our friends.
Some of our people have asked, our community has said, what if the border's not open?
That's a very good question, and we're so glad you asked. Yes, so Plan B is... Okay, so Plan A is if the borders are open. Plan B is if the border crossings are restricted.
Yes.
Which, right now, they are restricted. They are somewhat open.
Yeah.
If you want to drive into the United States, no go, not going to happen. If you want to fly into the U.S., that is allowed.
Yeah.
So our Plan B is actually to still go to the West Coast for fall.
Yep.
And Christmas.
Yep.
And then in January to fly to Quartzsite because we got peeps we got to hang out with in Quartzsite, the cool RV kids.
Now, how do you figure out how to fly and go to Quartzsite? Like, that's weird.
I don't know. It's going to be tricky. That part of the plan is still kind of hazy for us.
Yeah.
We're thinking either renting an RV, maybe staying with friends, maybe having a tent and sort of staying with friends at the same time. But we had a crazy harebrained idea the other day. We'd love to get your opinion on it.
Fly into Las Vegas, rent a U-Haul cube truck, drive into Quartzsite, honk, 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 stay there on our own and with friends, basically share, because it won't come with any of the facilities. And then when we're done, go back to wherever and fly home.
So what do you think of the U-Haul cube van?
There's something, yes. So there's something about the flying home thing that is also different for Canadians. There's a 14-day quarantine in place still. So when we go to the States and then come back and they say, so, next 14, you're in lockdown.
So that might change by January.
It
but
might.
At this point, we are planning to have that 2-week quarantine if we come back, when we come back to Canada. So there you go. That is our Plan B if the borders are still restricted. Now, is that it for Plan B?
Yes.
Oh.
Well,
what are we going to do when we come back to Canada?
Yeah, well, that's the continuing plan. It's not really Plan B, but it might be.
Well, we don't know. So when we come back from Quartzsite, if we're flying back, we will either stay in that southwest corner of our country. Maybe we'll go to Vancouver Island and do some exploring, whatever. Or should we say it here or should we say it in Plan C?
In Plan C.
Okay.
Plan C.
Or there's another option. Okay. Plan C
is the big one.
The borders are completely closed.
It's still just as big as the other two. But let's say we can't go across the border.
We can't fly. We can't drive. We can't swim. We can't do any of those things.
I can't take my long truck driver's course fast enough to be able to be essential service. Yeah. Sorry.
So if we absolutely cannot get into the United States
we'll contact
in January,
Elon Musk, and he's no, that won't work.
We have actually kind of a cool plan.
Yeah.
Not that we would rather go to Quartzsite. Just so you know, Quartzsite is on our heart.
I'd say it's a cold plan.
This is a cold plan. The cold plan is to still go to the West Coast in January if the borders are absolutely restricted, absolutely closed. We are going to do van life.
Yes.
We're going to park Bessie.
Yep.
Because she don't like the cold.
No.
We're going to park Bessie, and we are going to get into a minivan.
Yep.
And we are going to drive across Canada in the winter. You guys, it is going to be so crazy cold.
Yes.
But beautiful. Our country is an amazingly beautiful country. And I think with the snow-covered mountains and the frozen lakes and some drone footage and some winter hiking and snowshoeing and chains on the tires. Oh man, it is going to be so epic. So we're trying to grab life by the tail. We are trying to embrace the possibility of taking Bessie down to Quartzsite. We're also embracing the idea of flying down to Vegas, renting a U-Haul van and going to Quartzsite. And we're embracing the idea of taking a minivan across Canada in the winter.
Now, to mix that all up, we are going to go across Canada. But if we can, we'll take Bessie.
Yes.
We just can't in January, February, March.
Right.
Okay? So if January, February, March is like, we got to go, then we're taking the van. If March happens and all of a sudden it's getting into April and we can go with Bessie,
we'll take Bessie.
Let's go.
The only way that can happen, though, is if we have enough finances coming in through our YouTube channel. So either the channel itself or through Patreon or through other means that we're going to be talking about in the future.
Hey, if we're going to go across Canada, we're going to have a Patreon boost. No problem.
And if that happens, then we can go with Bessie in the spring.
And we're also going to contact Travel Canada and Parks Canada, and we're going to say, hey, look, ambassadors, to get to all of your parks. So we need fuel money, and we need to be able to have a free pass when we get to those parks. So hook us up.
We got plans, guys. Big, big plans. And you guys are part of those plans, for sure. You're always part of our plans. That's what we do. Anyway, there is a top secret plan that we haven't talked about yet.
Oh, that's true. What we're going to do in the end, near the end of September is... You can't tell what the top secret plan is.
It's top secret.
It's top secret.
The only way you can find out about this plan is
not
that
yet.
We will be revealing this plan to our patrons on our Patreon page. Not quite yet, but once we have that top secret plan,
give us about 10 days.
We will be announcing it over there, and it will be staying there for a little while. So if you want to know about that, head over to Patreon, and we would love to join you into our Patreon family. It is fun times over there. We have private Zoom sessions. We have extra footage, behind the scenes footage, all that kind of regular fun Patreon stuff.
This top secret stuff, it might include daily vlogs on a very special top secret.
It just might.
Venture.
But if you don't want to become a Patreon member, we are totally loving that you are part of our YouTube community. You are important to us.
It'll all be disclosed.
We value you. Yes, and you will find out the top secret plan.
Yeah.
Just, you won't find out about it
It'll be delayed.
You'll find out about it later.
Whatever.
Anyway,
it's called reruns.
Exactly. We love each and every one of you. You guys are part of our community. We love this RV community. We are really hoping to get to Quartzsite.
Yes.
Let's talk about Quartzsite for a minute.
Why do we love Quartzsite? Because we get to meet more of you.
Yeah.
We've met a lot of you here, like in this campground.
Yeah.
We've let a lot of you on the road, but we've met a lot of you in Quartzsite.
Yes.
Talk about Quartzsite. Q21.
Q21 Family Reunion is being organized by, well, it's not organized. It's like, it's the desert. It's in Arizona. It's tons of flat BLM land.
Yes.
It's dry camping, boondocking, and anyone is welcome.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter what kind of rig you have.
Oh,
it
that's
doesn't matter
so
how long
true.
you've been RVing, if you're a full-timer, part-timer, weekender,
YouTube,
whatever it is.
U-Haul trailer.
Yeah, content creator, non-content creator. But there's a group of us friends that are going to hang out in the desert, and we want you guys to join us. The information for that is on our website. It's at livinglightrv.com/Q21. You can check that out. You can see the list of people who are volunteering to kind of put it all together, make it all happen.
You can see some videos of what Quartzsite is all about.
Yep. Some of the top people organizing it for this year are Papa Drew's RV, Mel Nettie Living Free Zip Code List, Kent and I Living Light RV, as well as a whole slew of other people. So you guys go ahead and check out that webpage.
Why does it feel like a family reunion?
You don't, just a minute, you don't have to register. You could just show up. There's no, it's super informal.
It's not a formal registry anyways.
No, it's not. But we just want to give you guys a heads up about it so that that you can make your travel plans to kind of head that direction for January 16th to 24th.
Yes.
That's kind of our official week that we're hanging out.
And if you're very curious as to exactly the actual location, we won't know until 3 weeks before.
Oh, maybe even 3 days before.
Exactly. But we will all share the location as soon as it's available.
Exactly.
And that means people have started to get to that location, and then they start to share the whole thing.
Exactly.
We're going to film every step of the way to get to that location and share that with you guys too. So that's not a, don't worry about that part.
Yeah. What did you ask me earlier?
I
said just a minute, and I was going to.
Oh, I know. It was, why does Quartzsite feel like a family reunion?
Why? Yes, it does. But you just talked about that, meeting people.
It is. It's about meeting people.
And I think what's really...
It's about having a campfire around with just friends to share with.
I'll tell you what happened when we first got to Quartzsite last year, and it was we'd been to Quartzsite the year before with my mom and dad. We met a few people. It was really nice.
Jones and a Travel.
Yeah, met Jones. Well, we met a few people.
We met a few.
They were one of them, but we met a few.
Yeah.
And when we went last year, though, it was with the same group of people, Papa Drew's RV, and Grassroots Living, Diary of a Family, a whole bunch of other ones. And we pulled in, we parked, and as I pulled in, this group of people came to say hi to us, and I recognized all of them from YouTube.
Yes.
And we were in fandom, right? We're just like, I know these people. I recognize them from YouTube. And literally jumped out of Bessie and gave everybody hugs, and it really felt like, and of course they recognize us from watching our channel.
It's like finding your long lost cousin.
It is like that, because you might not even have ever really met your long lost cousin.
But
if
you know them.
You've seen each other on YouTube, you recognize each other's faces, you know each other's personality, you recognize their voices, and all of a sudden you are there together. It is so special. It's really hard to put words to it. And actually, there are a whole bunch of videos that I put on that webpage at livinglightRV.com/Q21. There's a bunch of videos on there. I grabbed a bunch from
Just feel free to
Quartzsite
pour through a couple of those and get a feel of what
all different content
Quartzsite's
creators,
about.
not just from us.
Yeah.
Anyway, hope you guys can make it. If you can't, that's okay. We'll miss you. And we will be bringing you tons of footage from Quartzsite. And that is our plan, you guys. Plan A and B, those are our plans. We are going to try our very, very best to get to Quartzsite. The whole Plan C, going across Canada, that may or may not happen.
In winter, well,
we'll have to see. It's kind of a pipe dream. We want to seek adventure.
We would rather go across Canada in Bessie.
Yeah, we would. That's really the reality, because Bessie's our home. That's what we'd like to do. Anything else?
I think that's it, guys. Meeting people on the road has become one of the most wonderful things for us, which means we have to actually go soon.
Speaking of which, we have to go because we have someone to meet in about 10 minutes.
That's right.
All right, you guys, my name is Lisa.
And my name is Kent, and we are Living Light RV.
We are grabbing life by the tail. We know you are too, and we'll see you next Thursday.